Hi everyone, Jay here with Libertus Inner Strength Training. Welcome once again. And today we're going to look at how we can pursue and achieve goals without losing our goddamn mind. This is a really important subject that we really do not discuss enough. And it's something that comes up a lot for us here at Libertus. So many of the people we work with are really high performance driven individuals who came to life knowing they wanted to do something. They wanted to build something, make something, create something. But they feel so much pressure and anxiety around it that they're not able to unload. We need to change that. We need to change it so one, they can feel better for themselves, and two, so the world can benefit from that beautiful thing that they have inside themselves and they're ready to offer. To discuss this subject, we're going to look at three different things. First, we're going to cover what I call the greatest and most logical lie that has ever existed on planet Earth. Next, we're going to look at the fundamental differences between pursuing something from a place of fear and weakness versus a place of inner strength and love. And finally, as always, we're going to look at the real world. Look at two examples of how this looked when people were able to make these changes, and then look ourselves at what we're doing and see what changes we might want to make. So let's begin. The greatest lie that is most logical is the belief that if I achieve X externally, then I will feel Y internally. In other words, if I could only do this, then I'll feel good. Then I'll feel fine. Then I'll feel fulfilled. As someone who spent over 20 years of his life living this way, I promise you it does not work. All that happens is we work hard. We work for years sometimes at a time to go and achieve something, and we finally get there, and nothing has changed. We still feel the same. We still feel messed up, and we wonder, what the hell do we do now? For many of us, we come at this like a crack addict would. We'd say, oh, wait, it's not this thing I have to achieve, it's this other thing. If I go and I achieve that, then I'll feel fine. And so we launch on an entire new endeavor. It might be changing careers, it might be having kids, it might be getting married, it might be moving, it might be whatever. But regardless of what it is, we fight, we work hard, we get there, and we say, shit, still not there. If we want to change something internally, we have to change it internally. Nothing we do on the outside will change it for us. Rob Lowe actually gives a great example of this. There's a clip of him, you can find the link to it down below, of when he was on Larry King, and Larry King asked him, what's with all the drugs and alcohol? Why did that occur? And Rob Lowe said, oh my God, this is such an easy question for me to answer. I grew up feeling a hole within me, feeling empty. And I just said to myself, man, if I could just make it, if I could get to that status that I said to myself, this is going to fix me, this is going to change me, then I'll be fine. But I got there, and nothing changed. Now what? For most of us, we just pick things at bigger and bigger time increments, so we work on them for longer and longer and longer, but we never really get to the place where we're going. And for so many of us, we just run out of time. The most common complaint on deathbeds, which was taken by an Australian hospice nurse, was, I wish I had the courage to be myself. I wish I didn't feel like I had to constantly be doing these other things in order to make it or look a certain way. I wish I could have just been. And that's what we're talking about. Going within, getting secure inside, and moving out from there. That's what Libertus Inner Strength Training is all about. And that's the only way any of us can really find a true way to bring the change we want into our lives. If we want to feel something internally, if we want to feel that we are fulfilled, if we want to feel that we are confident, if we want to feel that, we are worthwhile, that we are worthy of love and respect, that's a choice. That's a choice that we make. And we say, well, from this place, what can I do? Not, what do I need to do so I can achieve this? So we're going to let go of this. We're going to let go of any belief that an external change in and of itself is going to bring us the internal change that we want. Now we're going to move on to the second part of this, which is, what's the difference between pursuing this from achievement from a place of fear versus a place of strength? The biggest difference is pursuing things from a place of protection versus expression. So whenever we're working from fear, we're always trying to protect ourselves from something because, remember, we are weak and we need protection. We're either going to fight so that we can't get hit first, we're going to freeze and hope whatever danger is coming by is just going to move on, or we're going to flee and get as far away from this problem as we possibly can. And for many of us, achievement is a way of kind of fighting this, of saying, look, my self-worth is on the line here. I have to achieve, because if I don't achieve, I'm going to lose love, I'm going to lose respect, I'm going to lose status, I'm going to be thrown out by my tribe and the people I love, and I'm going to be thrown to the wolves. I have to achieve. I have to go out there and prove myself and make myself into something worthwhile, because apparently the natural me is not. So we work hard, we get really anxious, and this is especially susceptible for people that are naturally driven, because we come into this world saying, I want to do stuff. And then over time, that innate desire gets corrupted, and it's no longer about fulfilling an innate want to do something. It's now about, now I have to protect myself. Now I have to get that love and keep it and always hold it, because it could fall apart at any second. So when we achieve, we're really trying to protect. We're really trying to maintain where we are, achieve without risking, which is impossible to do, but we always feel that drive because we are at protection, so we don't want to risk. And we're always in a state of stress. Now, if we move into expression, this is totally different. There's no longer any concern about like my value, who I am as a person, what does it say about my identity. None of this stuff applies at all. The only thing that matters is, who am I? Really, who am I? And how can I bring myself, express myself in this situation? So it doesn't really matter what I'm doing, but whatever I do, I'm going to do as me. Now, this requires us to have a certain set of beliefs about ourselves. I call these the strength assumptions. We have to believe that we are of unconditional worth. Now we're no longer at risk. Our worth is no longer in the chopping block. We can risk, we can do whatever, we can fail, because that says nothing about us and our value as people. We also have to believe that we can handle and overcome whatever comes our way. Therefore, I don't need to protect. I don't need to look over the hill and say, hey, what's coming? Because I need to protect myself against it. I need to strengthen myself against it. It doesn't matter what's coming over the hill. I don't need to worry about it. You know, when you're walking down the street, are you really worried if a leaf would fall off a tree and hit you on your chest? No. Because what's a leaf going to do? It's the exact same thing. You know that you can handle a leaf hitting your chest, because we all can. Even if your bones were made of glass, I promise you, a leaf will not take you down. And if we have that same belief about life, we can do the same thing. I don't need to worry about what's coming down the road, because I can handle it. I don't need to try to stress and try to control and try to keep things secure, because even if it does come, it's going to bounce off me. I'm going to dig deep. Yeah, it might not be fun, but I'll ultimately handle it. There is no existential risk here. And one of the other most important assumptions we can have is, I am already complete. Everything I need is within me. I don't need to go and find my answer some way halfway across the world, or in some different job, or in some different career, or imagine that my fulfillment or my purpose is hidden behind some tree or under some rock. It's here. Everything I need is here. So I don't need to stress. I don't need to worry. I just need to get quiet, centered, and connected. And I'll find the answers to every question I really have and find whatever I need. And find, most importantly, what step I need to take now to move forward. I might not have all the answers clear. It might not be crystal clear. Here you go. Here's the game plan. Boom. This is what's going to happen. Life is fluid. That's not going to happen. But I do know what my best choice is now. And I do know how I can start following that path. So what does this look like? What does this look like in real life to move from a place of protection to expression? The first quick story I'll tell you is when I first started working as a coach. One of the people I worked with was a very, once again, high performance individual, top athlete, collegiate athlete, great student, great kid. Everyone loved him, got along with everyone, but he was not cutting it school wise. And we sat like, what's going on? You're able to do all of these other things in every other area of your life, and some class is taking you down. Why? His answer was, I just don't really like it. It's boring. This isn't, it's a required class I have to take. It's not even in my major. I'm struggling just, maintain a really bad grade here. And we talked. And then I finally brought up this point and said, if you were to express yourself in this class, what would that look like? Suddenly everything changed. If I were to express myself in this class, first off, I think I'd get a little more involved. I'm sitting there in class, listening to my professor droning on about something I don't care about. I'm going to raise my hand and ask about something I do care about. Bring up something we're discussing that is actually interesting to me. And then he thought more. You know what? This part of my class I find really fascinating, or this subject material that we don't really cover in depth really is interesting to me and applies to these other things I'm doing in my major and in my current interests. You know what? I wonder if I could even maybe do some independent research with my professor. That might be cool. All of these different ideas, all of these new creative options that just 5 minutes prior were completely non-existent. He ended up doing really well in the class, doing well overall, and got a lot out of it, which he never would have done if he didn't learn to approach the entire subject from a place of expression instead of protection. Same thing happens in the professional world. Someone else I was working with was just miserable at their job. They liked the job, they believed in the company, that's why they were there, but they just felt stale. They didn't feel like they were being used, they weren't feeling very fulfilled, and they were frustrated. They said, Jay, look, I have so much energy inside me, there's so much I want to do, but I just can't seem to get it out. Same question. How could you express yourself in this job? Well, I think I need a different position. I think I need to have a conversation with my boss. And you know what? Maybe I could bring in this external work I've been doing that's really relevant to our work here, which is why I was interested in working here. Maybe hold a presentation for some of my peers. Yeah, and then maybe we could even get some sort of a working group together and move things forward in this area. Or maybe I could launch that new initiative I've been thinking about a lot and see where that takes me. This is even why we have Gmail. Google was one of the first innovators to really bring this concept to market. To say, look, we're paying you to do like 80% of your time to do what we ask you to do. But a small sliver of your time, we want to be you. We want it to be yours. What's the best thing you can come up with and bring to us? And so many of Google's best innovations came from that small percentage of time where people looked in and said, well, who am I? What do I want to do in the framework here at Google? What talents do I have to bring? What interests do I have to bring? And how can I express them? And that is what has made Google into what it is today. That small amount of time to allow people to express themselves. Needless to say, the individual who was working on this found their job to be much better. Their boss was thrilled to find that they were so engaged and had this inner desire to do things. And once the company and the employee were on the same page, both profited, both felt better, and both were able to make a better future. So finally, and most importantly, ask yourself, what are you working on? how can you express yourself in this? Have you been working from a place of fear and protection? Have you been trying to get something that's really something you already have within and need to find within? If so, how can you just let that go? How can you choose to move to a place that says, you know what, no, I am already whole. I am already complete. I am already worthwhile. I'm me. How can I be me in this position? How can I bring my light to this endeavor I'm working on? Whether you're doing it alone, with a team, you're in school, you're at work, it's a marriage, it's a business relationship, whatever it is. How can I bring myself into this authentically and express myself openly inside it? Please feel free to put it in the comments below. Share with others. What are you working on? And what are some thoughts about how you can express yourself in this endeavor? If you have any questions, feel free to throw them there too. I'll be more than happy to answer them there, or if I think they're an issue that a lot of people are struggling with, I'll even make a video message in response to you. So thank you everyone for listening. This has been Libertus Inner Strength Training. Find us on libertusproject.com and take care. Bye-bye.